I'm nicking that.
You're nicking it, yeah.
Anyway, hot off the heels of the Northern Ireland negotiations, the Prime Minister will tell a security conference in Germany that international law must be changed and that Ukraine should be given what he's called advanced NATO standard weapons in order to defeat Russia.
Well, the three-day summit in Munich is being attended by senior Western officials, including the German Chancellor, the French President, and indeed the Vice President of the United States.
Well, joining us now to discuss this further is political commentator from Young Voices UK, Lettice Bromovsky. Welcome to the show. So what's your take on Rishi's tough talking on Ukraine? He's talking about doubling down on effort. There's £2.2 billion pounds gone so far to Ukraine in aid. Is this the right stance for UK, or should we be more focused on the fact that this week it was announced that France is now a superior military NATO power to the UK?
I think this is fundamentally important. I don't think there should ever be this comparison between the UK and France. You know, we are and should always be a united Western front against this. This is so much bigger than just the two, Ukraine and Russia, two individual countries against each other. We made this mistake in 2014 to trust Russia that, you know, Crimea would be all they would go for and that would be the end of it. It was not. And now we're in a war less than a decade later, right on our front doorstep. If we don't confront this situation now and send a lot of this military aid, who's going to be next? Would it be Finland? Ukraine as well, it's a democracy. It might not be part of the EU, it might not be part of NATO, but at the end of the day, we're here to defend democracy. And that's what we've got to do, really. We have to defend these freedoms. But it goes much wider than Europe as well. It goes to other dictatorships around the world who will be watching how the West handle this situation. Of course, specifically, I'm talking here about China and Taiwan. If we can stop this now and support Ukraine in a strong enough way, we might be saving us more heartache, more money down the line when it comes to China.
Lettice, it's very interesting because you represent Young Voices UK. When you're speaking to young people on these issues, in Northern Ireland, for instance, and now wherever, about the situation where the protocol is involved and now the situation in Ukraine. I mean, yours is a generation that for the first time has actually had a war on its doorstep in Europe. What sort of vibe are you getting back from young people in terms of their interest in politics, their interest in what's happening in Europe, and what their opinions are?
Yeah, definitely. I think obviously young people are very aware of what's going on, and a lot of the time it's seen through sort of the heartache of this is within Europe. Like you say, this is a war that a generation is seeing. It's completely changed how the outlook of the next 50 years and the outlook of our lifetimes will be going forward. I think Northern Ireland in particular, there's a huge amount of weight about how this will be represented for the UK, and people are very much supportive of my generation of keeping Northern Ireland and not having a segregated Northern Ireland within our United Kingdom. You know, it's completely unfair to be having a part of our United Kingdom under different laws and regulations. And so I think fundamentally they're you supporting this. What we're seeing today at the moment is Rishi being able to actually get that more over the line than his predecessors have been. And perhaps this technocrat that we're seeing of Rishi is what's needed in order to save the Northern Ireland Protocol.
How important is the concept of Brexit to younger people? I mean, I'm obsessed by it. I mean, I could just talk about Brexit forever.
But we won't let you.
For my sins. In fact, I get told stop using the B word. But how important is it? Is it something that, I mean, you articulated so passionately there, the need to maintain sovereignty and the union of the United Kingdom. But are young people generally just a bit fed up with it?
I mean, generally Brexit, like, you know, hopefully that term will die out soon enough. We have left the EU now, and so really we should just be going forward with the United Front. Obviously, it's continuously brought up, but at the end of the day, Brexit has happened. We have to move forward. We have to do what's right for Britain and help Britain prosper now. Brexit is very important for the younger generation because really that was the sort of vote of a generation, vote of a lifetime. It was the first time that I could ever actually vote myself. So, you know, it holds a fundamental importance, but really it's about moving forward now and getting what's best for Britain.
And moving forward, where does your generation see Putin and his ideals fitting into your future?
Well, hopefully what we're going to see is that this extra support will be going to Ukraine. They will be able to push back on Putin, because ultimately, at the end of the day, Putin has a huge country and they do have wealth within that. And really, without our support, they will, I mean, a harsh reality being, probably overwhelm Ukraine in this way. So hopefully what we'll be seeing is we'll be pushing back against Russia and Putin. But we don't want to see an escalation of this war any further than what we've seen so far. We just want Ukraine to be able to defend its borders at this time.
Thank you very much indeed for that. Good to hear your voice on behalf of Young Voices.
Good. That's fantastic. OK, let's bring you